The year was 618 AD. At that time, there are three great emperors in India. One was a Samrat Harshavardhana of Pushapati dynasty, and another was a Pulakeshin of the Chalukya dynasty. They both faced each other on the bank of Narmada, and this famous conflict is known as the Battle of Narmada. In this video, we're gonna talk about the Pulakeshin II of the Chalukya dynasty, his rise, his military conflicts, his administration, and many more things. Pulakeshin II stand among the most celebrated and powerful rulers of early Chalukya dynasty. His reign marked as a turning point in the Deccan history, not only because of his military strength but also due to the dramatic circumstances under which he ascended the throne. Pulakeshin II was the son and rightful successor of the Kirtivarman I. However, his path to kingship was far from smooth. After his father's death, the throne of Badami did not immediately pass to him. Instead, his uncle Mangalesha took control of the kingdom as regent. Historical records suggest that Mangalesha initially ruled on behalf of the young prince. However, ambition appears to have overshadowed loyalty. Rather than preserving the throne for his nephew, Mangalesha attempted to secure the succession for his own son, appointing him as a Yuvraj. This decision directly challenged Pulakeshin's legitimate claim as the son of the Kirtivarman I. The situation escalated into open conflict, supported by wise counsel and allies from outside the royal court. Pulakeshin II rose in a rebellion against his uncle. What followed was a civil war that reshaped the destiny of the Chalukya kingdom. In the struggle for rightful succession, Mangalesha was killed and Pulakeshin II emerged victorious. With his victory, Pulakeshin II not only reclaimed his father's throne but also established himself as an undisputed ruler of the Chalukya kingdom. The internal conflict that began as a family dispute ultimately strengthened his resolve and laid the foundation of one of the most remarkable reigns in early medieval India. The dramatic rise of power set the stage of Pulakeshin II, future achievements, military expansion, political consolidation, and his emergence as one of the greatest rulers of Deccan. Pulakeshin II was not only a powerful military ruler but also a monarch who adopted prestigious imperial titles that reflected his authority, legitimacy, and a religious stature. Royal titles of Pulakeshin II. Pulakeshin II adopted several titles, such symbolizing different aspects of his kingship. Satyasaraya, meaning refuge of youth. This was a significant dynastic title and often used as a substitute for his personal name in inscription. Maharaja Dhiraja, Kings of Kings, indicating supreme sovereignty over subordinate rulers. Parmeshwar, the Great Lord or Lord of Lords. This title was reportedly adopted after he celebrated victory over Harshavardhana of North India. The adoption of the title Parmeshwara is particularly significant. According to Chalukya records, Pulakeshin II assumed this title following his success against Harshavardhana, marking a symbolic accession of dominance over North India. Historical sources also mention him in foreign records. The Chinese traveler Xuanzang referred to him as a Pulakeshin, describing him as a Kshatriya ruler of a Maharashtra region. The Persian historian Al-Tabari recorded his name as a Parmesha or Parmes, likely Persian adaptation of the Parmeshwara. These titles are references show that Pulakeshin II fame extended beyond India, reaching China and Persia. Religious background. All throughout, Pulakeshin II adopted a grand title Parmeshwara, which is closely associated with the Hindu religious tradition, particularly Shaivism. The Chalukya rulers were generally known for their religious tolerance. Pulakeshin II is believed to have been a follower of Vaishnavism, with a strong leaning towards the Shaivism. However, during his reign, Chalukya Emperor took certain titles suggestive to his religious faith in a particular deity. Thus, he is described to as a devotee of Lord Vishnu, Param Bhagavata, in a lunar copper plates inscription. He also mentioned that he belonged to the line of Vishnu in a pimpler plates. The Chalukya faith in a Lord Vishnu is also recorded in several inscriptions, beginning from salutation to him and seals with a Vara emblem. Temple dedicated to Shiva and Vishnu were patronized. Jainism and Buddhism continued to receive support in Deccan. Foreign travelers like Xuanzang noted the presence of Buddhist establishment in the empire. This reflects a broader pattern of religious coexistence and a royal patronage across multiple faiths during early Chalukya period. Pulakeshin II titles were not only honorifics, they represent military success, imperial ambition, and religious identity. His assumption of Parmeshwara symbolized both political supremacy and a spiritual authority. The accession of the Pulakeshin was marked not by peace but by the political instability and internal disorder. After the death of his uncle Mangalesha in a civil war, the Chalukya kingdom faced widespread unrest, political chaos after civil war. The famous Haiyol inscription hints at general uprising and disruption throughout the kingdom following Mangalesha's fall. The civil conflict had weakened central authority, and several chief and rival claims saw this as an opportunity to assert independence. Many of the advisors were supporters of the Mangaleshas, a local ruler seeking personal gain, ambitious chief attempting to break away from the Chalukya control. It became essential for Pulakeshin II not only to claim the throne but also restore order and reassert royal authority. Date of accession. Based on the inscription evidence, the last known date of the Mangalesha is a 5 January 610 CE, and the first known record of the Pulakeshin II is dated 23 July 610 CE. Thus, the historian conclude that the Pulakeshin II ascended the throne sometimes between these two dates in 610 CE, revolt of Apaika and Govinda. One of the first major challenges to Pulakeshin II's authority came from the two rulers named Apaika and Govinda, who raised the banner of revolt. According to Ravi Kirti, the court poet and author of Ahiyol inscription, this chief came from the region of north of the river Bhima, possibly belonging to the southern Maratha country, advanced with the troops and elephant against the Chalukya ruler. Instead of relying solely on a military strength, Pulakeshin II demonstrated remarkable diplomatic skill. He applied the traditional political strategy of Bheda, creating a dissension among the enemies. By alienating Govinda from his ally Apaika, he successfully divided their forces. Apaika was defeated and crushed. Govinda was won over a friend and ally throughout the royal favors. This combination of diplomacy and warfare helped Pulakeshin II secure his northern frontier and neutralize immediate threats. Restoration of stability. Throughout this, Pulakeshin II achieved three major objectives: suppress internal rebellion, prevent fragmentation of the kingdom, re-establish a strong central authority. The conquest and consolidation measures undertaken by his young ruler are recorded in the Ahiyol inscription, likely in a chronological order, showing a steady strengthening of his position. Pulakeshin II accession was not merely dynastic succession, it was a struggle for survival and legitimacy. He emerged victorious from civil war, suppressing revolts and skillfully dividing his enemies. He transformed a fragile kingdom into a stable, expanding power. This film of consolidation of home laid the foundation of his later military campaigns and his rise of one of the greatest rulers of Deccan. After securing his throne and restoring internal stability, Pulakeshin II launched a series of powerful military campaigns that transformed the Chalukya kingdom into a dominant force in a Deccan. His expeditions were strategic, calculated, and aimed at both consolidation and expansion. Recapture of Banwasi, Kadamba campaign. Banwasi was the capital of Kadambas. During the period of civil unrest between Pulakeshin II and Mangalesha, the Kadamba ruler has grown indifferent to Chalukya authority. Pulakeshin II marched against the Kadamba ruler and besieged Banwasi. Despite strong resistance and the city's formidable defenses near Varda river, the Kadamba were eventually defeated. Kadamba kingdom was annexed. The territory strategically divided. The Alupas and Sandrakas, loyal allies of Pulakeshin, were granted portion of the conquered land. These actions were deliberately strategy to permanently weaken Kadamba power and prevent future rebellion. Submission of Gangas. The Western Ganga dynasty had also shown sign of asserting independence during the earlier turmoil. The Ganga ruler eventually acknowledged Chalukya supremacy without major conflict after witnessing the destruction of Kadambas. To cement relationship, the Ganga ruler gave his daughter in marriage to Pulakeshin II. She later became the mother of Vikramaditya I. This marriage alliance strengthened political unity in southern Deccan and helped secure Chalukya dominance, camping against the Mauryas of Konkan. After consolidating his power in western Deccan, Pulakeshin turned towards the Mauryas of Konkan. The Mauryas of Konkan had earlier been subdued by Kirtivarman I, but likely sought independence during the Chalukya succession conflict. Pulakeshin II attacked the Mauryan territory, besieged their capital Puri, identified with a modern Elephanta island near Mumbai or Rajpuri near Janjira. used naval strength to storm the coastal stronghold, the Mauryan dream of independence was crushed, and Chalukya supremacy over the Konkan region was firmly re-established, strengthening imperial control. Pulakeshin's early campaigns revealed several important characteristics. He eliminated rebellious feudatories. He used both warfare and diplomacy effectively. He redistributed conquered lands among loyal allies. He secured key trade and coastal regions. By the end of these expeditions, Pulakeshin II had firmly established himself as a paramount ruler of a western Deccan. The military expeditions of Pulakeshin II were not random act of aggression but strategic move to consolidate authority and expand influence. By defeating the Kadambas, subduing the Gangas, and crushing the Mauryas of Konkan, he laid the groundwork for powerful Deccan Empire. These early victories prepared him for even greater confrontations, including his famous clash with the Harshavardhana of North India. After firmly establishing his authority in Deccan, Pulakeshin II turned towards northern India, where a powerful monarch was expanding his influence, Harshavardhan. This confrontation would become one of the most celebrated events in early medieval Indian history. Political background of the conflict. During this period, the regions of Lata, Malwa, and Gurjara acted as a buffer state between Harsha, Northern Empire, and the Chalukya domain in the Deccan. This kingdom appeared in the Ahiol inscription just before the mention of the Harsha's defeat, suggesting that they had accepted the suzerainty of Pulakeshin II, possibly out of a fear of Harsha's growing power. Harsha likely sought to extend his authority southward, which brought him to inevitable conflict with Pulakeshin II. The Great Clash of the banks of Narmada. The battle is believed to have taken place near the river Narmada, which served as a natural boundary between North and South India. According to Ravikirti, Harshmirth melted away in fear. His proud elephant forces were shattered. The northern ruler suffered a setback. Chinese traveler Xuanzang confirms that although Harsh had conquered many regions from east to west, Maharashtra refused to submit to him. This clearly suggests that Harsha's southern expedition failed against Pulakeshin II. Date of battle. Historians generally believe this decisive encounter around AD 612, certainly before AD 613, likely within the first 5 regnal years of Pulakeshin II. Evidence suggests Harsha initiated the campaign attempting to subdue the Deccan but was repelled near the Narmada. Aftermath and significance. Following the victory, Pulakeshin II adopted the imperial title Parmeshwara, Supreme Lord. His fame spread widely across India. Even later dynasty proudly remembered this achievement. The Narmada effectively became the political boundary between Harsha Empire in north and Pulakeshin domain in south. This was one of the rare instances in Indian history where northern emperor was decisively checked by southern ruler. Expansion after victory. After defeating Harsha, Pulakeshin II extended influence up to Vindhyas, claimed sovereignty over 3 Maharashtras, said to consist of 99,000 villages. By AD 613, much of the western and upper Deccan has become firmly integrated into Chalukyan Empire. Historical importance. The defeat of Harsha established Pulakeshin II as supreme power of Deccan, prevent northern political domination over South India, marked the Narmada as a lasting cultural and a political divide, elevate the Chalukyas to imperial status. The military genius of the Pulakeshin II reached its peak in his northern campaign by halting the Harshavardhan at the Narmada. He preserved the independence of the Deccan and earned a place among the greatest rulers of early medieval India. His triumph was not merely a battlefield victory, it was a defining moment in the balance of power between North and South India. The conquest of the eastern and the southern Deccan. The expansion of the Pulakeshin II into Kosala, Kalinga and Vengi. After firmly consolidating his authority in the 3 Maharashtras, Pulakeshin II turned his attention towards the eastern Deccan. His ambition was no longer limited to stabilizing the western territories. He now sought to extend Chalukya supremacy across the central and eastern India, much towards the Kosala and Kalinga. According to the Ahiol inscription, Pulakeshin II marched against the rulers of Kosala and Kalinga. These regions lay in the eastern Deccan. The Kosala referred to here is identified as a Dakshina Kosala, comprising parts of the present-day Raipur and Bilaspur in central India. Remarkably, the rulers of the Kosala and Kalinga are said to have submitted without offering serious resistance. This indicates the growing reputation and military prestige of Pulakeshin II after his earlier victories. The next major development was capture of Bistarpur, the capital of Vengi. There has been a scholarly debate regarding the identity of a defeated ruler. However, the evidence of the Marthuru plates indicates the Bistarpur was captured by Pulakeshin II before its 8th regnal year around 617-618 CE. This makes it unlikely that Vikramendra Varman III was the opponent. More probably, the ruler was Indravarman of Vishnukundin dynasty who ruled Vengi around 590 to 620 CE. He appears to have accepted Pulakeshin's supremacy, administration after conquest. Interestingly, there is no solid evidence that Pulakeshin II personally annexed the entire Vengi region immediately or appointed his younger brother Vishnuvardhan as a governor right away. Epigraphic records suggest that Vishnukundis may have continued as subordinate rulers. Pulakeshin distributed newly conquered territories among trusted feudatories. For example, an Aluka king, a traditional Chalukya feudatory, reportedly came to a Kolipaka, modern Mangalgiri, in a Guntur district, to assume administrative control after enduring considerable hardship. This suggests that Pulakeshin allowed a practical administrative policy, consolidating power throughout the loyal subordinates, rather than the direct rule everywhere. Strategic importance of the Eastern campaign. The conquest of the Kosala, Kalinga and Vengi was highly significant. It extended Chalukya influence to eastern coast. It secured vital trade routes along the Bay of Bengal. It prevented eastern powers from allying with Pallavas. It laid the foundation of the later rise of Eastern Chalukya branch in Vengi. This eastern expansion transformed Pulakeshin II from Deccan ruler into pan-peninsular power. He combined military pressure with a political accommodation by securing Kosala and Kalinga and capturing Bistarpur. He ensured Chalukya dominance across the Deccan plateau. This conquest marked the high tide of his imperial expansion, setting the stage for his later southern conflicts, especially with the Pallavas of Kanchipuram. The southern campaign of the Pulakeshin II clashed with the Pallavas, an imperial administrator of the vast empire. After his sweeping victories across the Deccan, Pulakeshin II stood at the height of the imperial power. The Ahihol inscription proudly described his empire as bounded by oceans on three sides, crowned by the Vindhyas in the north, ruled from magnificent capital of Vatapi, modern Badami. Yet, this peak of glory also marked the beginning of the long and intense struggle with one of the South India's most formidable dynasty, the Pallavas of Kanchi. The southern campaign against the Pallavas. Background of the conflict. The major objective of the Pulakeshin II after securing the eastern Deccan was the powerful Pallava kingdom of Kanchi. Kanchipuram was the capital of the Pallavas and one of the most prosperous cities of the South India. There are the several factors led to the conflict. The fall of the Vishnukundins. The Vishnukundins are the allies of Pallavas that are defeated by the Pulakeshin II. Pallava resistance to rising power of Chalukyas. Rivalry for a political supremacy in a peninsular India. The Ahihol inscription even suggests that the Pallava were determined to contain Chalukya expansion. The Battle of Pulalura. Pulakeshin launched a carefully organized military expedition using his seasoned force. He fought against the Mahendravarman I. Pulakeshin was successful in forcing the Pallavas behind the fortified wall of Kanchi. However, the Pallavas not completely subdued. The conflict remained unsolved. Future wars become inevitable. Pulakeshin chose not to cross the river Kaveri, likely for a strategic and logistical reason. Instead, he sought the diplomatic alliance with the southern powers. But once he returned to Vatapi, the Pallavas reorganized and began forming alliance of their own, setting the stage of renewed conflict. He ruled the empire stretching from the Arabian Sea to Bay of Bengal. The Vindhyas formed in the northern boundary. His capital Vatapi was described as encircled by the rivers. At this stage, Pulakeshin had become one of the most powerful monarchs in India. However, the administrating such a vast empire directly from Vatapi was nearly impossible, given the limited communication systems of the 7th century. Administrative arrangement of the empire. To maintain control, Pulakeshin adopted a decentralized administrative system. Appointment of Vishnuvardhan. He appointed his younger brother Vishnuvardhan I initially as a Yuvraj, later a governor of Vengi. Before AD 631, this was a strategic move. Vengi was politically vulnerable, and placing the trusted kingsman that there ensured loyalty. Later developments suggest that Vishnuvardhan eventually asserted independence around AD 641, likely after Pulakeshin's death. This led to the foundation of Eastern Chalukya dynasty, other provisional governors. Pulakeshin entrusted different regions to loyal princes and feudatories. Gujarat, Lata region possibly to Chalukya Vijayavardhan. Konkan region to Sendraka Prince Senendra Raja. Khandesh and adjoining regions to family of Arasakti. Some defeated rulers were restored to their territories as a subordinate feudatories. This administrative policy combined kingship loyalty, strategic decentralization, political pragmatism. Pulakeshin II at the height of his glory. Global reputation and a Xuanzang account of Maharashtra. After sweeping military victories from the west coast to the eastern Deccan and from the southern peninsula to bank of Narmada, Pulakeshin II emerged as an undisputed master of almost the entire region of the Vindhyas, even territories north of the national frontier. His triumph over Harshavardhana has already made him a legendary figure in Indian politics. But his fame did not stop at the Indian borders. Diplomatic relations beyond India. It is widely believed that a diplomatic exchange took place between Pulakeshin II and Khosrow II of Persia. This suggests that recognition of the Pulakeshin imperial status beyond India, international trade and cultural context. The growing importance of the Deccan in global network, such diplomatic exchanges show that the Chalukya Empire was not isolated but part of wide Afro-Eurasian political current of 7th century. Xuanzang description of Maharashtra and its king. The most vivid testimony of Pulakeshin greatness comes from the Chinese Buddhist pilgrim Xuanzang. He visited India in 7th century and left detailed account of political and social condition of the time. Character of the people of Maharashtra. Xuanzang described the people as honest and simple in disposition, tall in stature, stern and vindictive towards enemy, grateful towards the benefactors, fiercely loyal. He notes that if insulted, they would risk their life for revenge. If asked for help, they would rush to assist without hesitation. A defeated general would not punish but humiliated, presented with a woman's cloth, compelling him to seek death voluntarily. Military culture. Xuanzang paints a dramatic picture of their military practices. Bands of hundreds of champions prepared for battle. Warriors intoxicated themselves with a wine before combat. A single warrior would challenge thousands. War elephants were also intoxicated and unleashed upon enemy forces. This description emphasizes fearlessness, aggressive battlefield tactics, the psychological power of war elephant. Yet despite the martial habits, Xuanzang adds an important detail. The men were fond of learning. This suggests that the Maharashtra under Pulakeshin II militaristic but culturally vibrant. Xuanzang portrait of Pulakeshin II. Xuanzang speaks highly of the king. He ruled over powerful man and elephant. He treated neighboring rulers with confidence, even contempt. His plans were wide-ranging and ambitious. His beneficent actions were felt across distant regions. His subjects obey him with a perfect submission. This is one of the strongest contemporary foreign attributes to an Indian ruler of early medieval period. Harsh failed invasion. Xuanzang also confirms the historic clash between Pulakeshin II and Harshavardhana. He records that Harsha gathered troops from the 5 Indies, summoned that Bash commanders, personally led the campaign, yet failed to conquer Maharashtra. This independent testimony strongly supports the claim made in Ahiol inscription that Pulakeshin II successfully checked Harsha's southern ambitions. Historical significance at this stage is in his reign. Pulakeshin II controlled an empire stretching from across peninsular India. He was recognized by foreign power like Persia. He was praised by the Chinese chronicles. He has successfully registered the greatest northern emperor of his time. Few rulers of early medieval India enjoy such widespread prestige. Pulakeshin II was not merely a regional king, he was a conqueror, a diplomat, patron of learning, a ruler feared by enemies and admired by foreigners. Xuanzang account provides a rare external validation of his greatness. In the history of early medieval India, Pulakeshin II stands as one of the most powerful and internationally recognized monarch of his age. Economic prosperity of Maharashtra. Xuanzang does not praised the military courage of the people of Maharashtra, but he also described the land itself. According to him, the soil was fertile, agriculture was regularly practiced, the countryside was well cultivated, kingdom enjoyed economic stability. This description suggests that the Chalukya Empire under Pulakeshin II was not sustained by warfare alone. It rested upon a strong agrarian foundation. The prosperous agriculture economy, steady revenue collection, maintenance of large armies, support for temples, learning and trade, stability in administration. The image that emerges is of well-organized and economically thriving Deccan kingdom. Monarch whose authority extended far and wide. A ruler obeyed loyally by his vassals. He also provides detailed observation about the strength of the army, courage of the soldiers, the discipline, loyalty of feudatories. Such testimony from the independent foreign traveler greatly strengthened the historical credibility of the Pulakeshin's imperial stature. Pulakeshin II fame reached beyond Indian borders. The Persian historian Al-Taberi records diplomatic contact between Khosrow II of Persia and Pulakeshin II. According to Taberi, the Indian king sent a costly presents and letter. The exchange occurred in the 26th year of the Khosrow II reign. The return embassy likely visited to a Chalukyan court. Significance of the Indo-Persian contact. It, if accepted, this diplomatic exchange indicate the Chalukyan Empire was internationally recognized. Trade networks connected to Deccan to West Asia. Pulakeshin II, this was a remarkable achievement for a Deccan ruler in the early 7th century. The reign of the Pulakeshin II was marked not only by the military triumphs but also by agriculture prosperity, strong internal administration, loyal feudatories, international diplomacy. Foreign accounts confirm that he sovereign, a respected global figure, a ruler presiding over a prosperous and organized kingdom. Throughout the writings of the Xuanzang and Al-Taberi, we see Pulakeshin II not merely as a conqueror but as an emperor whose influence extended from the fertile plains of Maharashtra to the court of Persia. Xuanzang document presence of approximately 100 Buddhist monasteries, mostly the Mayan tradition, and roughly 5,000 monks in Pulakeshin's empire. Xuanzang observed that a majority of the population did not follow Buddhism. There are hundreds of Hindu temples. Rivalry between the Chalukyas of Vatapi and Pallavas of Kanchi was not settled by a single campaign. The first expedition of Pulakeshin II against the Pallavas has ended without decisive annexation. Although he had forced the southern enemy to retreat behind the fortified walls of Kanchi, the Pallava power was not crushed. Soon after, a major change occurred in the south. Narasimhavarman I ascended the Pallava throne. The energetic ruler and determined to avenge the humiliation suffered by his father Mahendravarman I, the stage was not for a renewed and far more dangerous confrontation. Why the conflict resumed? There are several factors contributed to the revival of the hostiles. The early Chalukya campaigns had been indecisive. Pulakeshin has not permanently subdued Kanchi. The Cholas, Keralas and Pandyas were not annexed despite Chalukya's advances. Narasimhavarman I aimed to recover lost Pallava prestige and territories. The situation became for another trial of strength. The campaign against the Banas. Before directly attacking the Pallavas again, Pulakeshin II is believed to have first targeted the Banas, feudatories of Pallavas. Stone inscription from the Anantapura region suggests that the Pulakeshin overran the Bana territory. This move was strategic. It weakened the Pallava allies. It opened the route towards Kanchi. It signaled renewed aggression against the Pallava supremacy. After subduing the Banas, Pulakeshin advanced once more towards Pallava territory. The battle near Kanchi. Clashes between two powers occurred at several important locations. This time, however, the outcome differed from earlier campaigns. Pallava record claimed that the Chalukyan force were repulsed. Narasimhavarman I gained the upper hand. Pulakeshin failed to besiege and captured Kanchi. The battle appeared to have taken place dangerously close to Pallava capital. Pulakeshin likely took the initiative in pushing deep into Pallava territory. Yet, tide has begun to turn. With the shift of southern allies, Pulakeshin's defeat had serious consequences. Some of his southern allies reported joined the Pallava coalition, helped strengthen the Pallava counteroffensive. This alliance system significantly weakened Chalukya domains in south. Later records of Vikramaditya I mention that he defeated not only Pallavas but also their allies, the Cholas, Pandyas and Kerlas, suggesting that these powers has sided with the Pallavas during the critical phase, the fall of Vatapi and tragic loss of the great emperor. Soon after the visit of Chinese pilgrim Xuanzang, the long-standing rivalry between Chalukyas and Pallavas originated with a renewed intensity. At the center of this final and decisive struggle stood two powerful rulers. Pulakeshin II, the undisputed master of Deccan, Narasimhavarman I, the determined avenger of Pallava honor. What followed was one of the most dramatic reversals of fortune in early medieval Indian history. The Pallava counteroffensive. Narasimhavarman I, having strengthened his position and secured the support of southern allies, launched a powerful counterattack against the Chalukya Empire. He was assisted by his southern confederates, Manavarman of Ceylon, Sri Lanka, his capable general Shirutondar Paranjoti. The earlier clash at Pariyala, Manimangala, Suramara had already weakened Pulakeshin's southern position. These victories emboldened Narasimhavarman to push deep into Chalukya territory. The capture of Vatapi. The final and most devastating blow fell upon Badami, the proud Chalukya capital. Pallava inscription clearly indicate the Pulakeshin II was probably killed in action, resulting in the capture of Badami by Pallava general Shirutondar Paranjoti. Vatapi was captured and plundered. This city was burned in a revenge for earlier Pallava humiliation. Narasimhavarman assumed the proud title Vatapi Konda, the conqueror of Vatapi. An inscription at the back of the Mallikarjuna temple at Badami dated to 13th regnal year of Narasimhavarman I, AD 640 to 43, confirms Pallava occupation of the Chalukyan capital. Chalukyan records fall silent after this period, a silence that strongly suggests the death of the Pulakeshin II around 642 to 643 AD. A sudden and disastrous fall, the irony of the history is striking. Pulakeshin II had humbled Harshavardhana in north, had expanded from Gujarat to eastern coast, had forged diplomatic ties with Persia, had ruled over nearly all of the peninsular India south of the Vindhyas. Yet, at the very height of his power, fortune turned against him. His empire, which stood at the acme of its glory, suddenly collapsed under the weight of Pallava retaliation. For nearly 13 years after his death, Chalukya's sovereignty in the heartland remained absent. The legacy of the Pulakeshin II, despite his tragic end, Pulakeshin II remains the greatest ruler of early Chalukyas of Badami, conqueror who transformed the regional kingdom into empire. The southern monarch who checked Harsha's expansion, a ruler praised by the foreign chronicles after the time of his death. His domain included almost of whole Trans-Vindhya India, part of Gujarat, supremacy over Malwa and adjoining regions, control over the eastern and western Deccan. His fall served as a powerful reminder of the instability of royal fortune, how swiftly imperial glory can turn into ruin. A heroic but tragic end. The life of the Pulakeshin II reads like an epic. Rightful heir who fought a civil war to claim the throne, conqueror who expanded across Deccan, monarch recognized beyond Indian borders, warrior king who died defending his empire. His career ended not in quiet retirement but in a battle, sword in hand facing his greatest rival. Throughout Vatapi burned and his empire temporarily fell, his name endured. Pulakeshin II remains one of the towering figures of early medieval India, a symbol of imperial ambition, military genius, and dramatic rise and fall of power. The defeat of Pulakeshin II and capture of Badami by Pallavas do not imply that Chalukyas were completely destroyed. Pulakeshin II was succeeded by his dear son Aditya Varman, and during the reign of Vikramaditya I, Chalukya's power was restored, an end of so-called dark period of Chalukyas.